Okay, looks like we're rolling here. Hi. Hello, everybody. My name's Dave. Excuse me. Welcome. Hope you're having a great day. I'm making this video because I recently embarked on a self-help, self-healing journey. And I want to document and chronicle it as a way of reinforcing and cementing my mastery of some of this material, as well as maybe being of help to others who are interested in similar undertakings and might benefit from seeing inside my process. Some background then. I am 47 years old, a male. I weigh over 400 pounds and am habitually sedentary. I have struggled with chronic depression for most of my life. I've been diagnosed as schizoaffective, although the unofficial diagnosis was that I was just bafflingly weird, and schizoaffective seems to be the closest categorical match for that sort of thing. I have had several psychotic breaks in the past and have been medicating with antipsychotics and methamphetamines for 7 or 8 years now. Like many, if not all of you, I have spent the last 18 months in particular struggling with mental health issues. I am talking, of course, about the pandemic. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and mine's not necessarily better than yours. So please take the following in the spirit that it's offered, as an attempt to be transparent about my process rather than as an attempt to beat up anybody's reality. Okay. That said, it's my opinion that this pandemic thing is probably best characterized as a mass hysteria over a slightly scary virus. Our pandemic response has been completely disproportionate. At the very least, I'm comfortable asserting that cost-benefit calculus has not been employed to make rational decisions about how to get ourselves back on track. And that's notwithstanding the possibility that SARS-CoV-2 might turn out to be a bioweapon unleashed perhaps intentionally. So, now, like, I live in Ottawa, Canada. I'm a few blocks from the Parliament buildings, which I have a nice view of from my rooftop. This place is ground zero for COVID hysteria, and the majority of folks in my area seem to be on board with the abandonment of democratic principles in favor of the rollout of a shitty dystopian medical apartheid state where human contact is criminalized. Now, although I wasn't a strong student, I did manage to finish a bachelor's degree in history from the university here, and I think I feel comfortable asserting that this is going nowhere good. I was never too optimistic about the future anyways, but the internalization of my perception that society is sick and basically unrecoverable has kind of prompted me to realize I need to get over this puer eternus, eternal man-child thing and grow up, whatever that looks like. And I mean, whatever the future is bringing, I want to be able to face it on my feet like an adult and not hiding under the blankets in my room. So, yeah, I've decided to be the change that I want to see in the world, and work on myself as a hobby for the next little while, maybe for the rest of my life. I'll spend the remainder of this video sort of going over some basics and explaining my process a bit. I'll put some links below. My hope is that some of you watching this find this resonates with you, and that we can share insights and ideas to further each other's process. That'd be cool. Okay, so here's a few things that sum up my approach thus far. 6 points, okay? I should emphasize, I'm only a month into this project, New Dave. I am really liking the results I'm seeing. There's been ups and downs, certainly. but yeah, more ups, I think. And so, maybe I'll have to change things up, accelerate, back things off in the future. We'll see. But right now, this is what seems to be working for me. Okay? So, again, 6 points. Point number 1. My number 1 rule, have a good day. Wake up with the thought, this is the first day of the rest of your life. Whatever I have to do that day, I do my best all day. That can vary a lot depending on whether I'm tired or sick or whatever. Sometimes my best involves a lot of naps. That's cool. I like naps. Point is, I get a nice dopamine hit when my head hits the pillow at night if I can look back on the day and feel like I made a nice solid effort. Point number 2. Breaking that down further, I often find myself losing the thread badly during the day. So I have a mindfulness practice, and I just try to keep bringing myself back to the present moment by asking myself, what am I going to do about where I'm at right now? Or what is my practice in this moment? So there's no judgment, no regret, no past or future, no feeling bad about being a fallible human being who makes bad choices. I just try to learn from what does and doesn't work and keep pushing for the higher ground. It's not perfect. Sometimes you fall, and it's not the easiest thing to get back up and do it. But I mean, you basically have the choice to try or not to try. So keep trying. All right, gradual, gentle progress. This is point number 3. So don't be too hard on. I try not to be too hard on myself. I try not to be too easy on myself either, ideally. So I didn't go from 0 to 60 in a few days. It was more like 0 to 15. That's okay. 15 is a lot faster than 0. I figure I'll get there sooner or later. So take it slow. How is this put? I saw it. Put away excessive effort and easy indulgence. And just, go up the middle. Okay. Number 4, self-acceptance and self-compassion. Number 4. So I have some serious emotional wounds, and if I let them define me, I can act like a shitty person and do shitty things. But I'm not a shitty person any more than I'm a good person. Turns out I'm just a person. Being a person alive in this day and age means being one of the walking wounded. We are all pretty much terminally fucked. But as the saying goes, no mud, no lotus. Being terminally fucked is an opportunity in disguise to be a shining star, in my opinion, if you do the work. So to the extent that I can remember this, I find it's easier to go through life withholding judgment. And there's a lot of liberation in allowing space for yourself and others to just be, without a lot of unrealistic, frustrating expectations. Okay, number 5. Practice. This goes back to the fixed versus growth mindset thing, as described by Carol Dweck and others. Basically, the idea here is you can improve over time, so keep at it. Take a view of mistakes as learning experiences rather than as failures. I can give an example of how I've used this approach to tackle a central issue in my life. I've come to understand that if you want to succeed at life and kill the dragon, what that looks like in practical terms is being able to do the thing that reality sends along that needs doing, even when you don't want to fucking do it. I've spent most of my life struggling with paralyzing apathy, nihilism, laziness, and procrastination as I circle the drain on this issue. When I take personality tests, I generally score 0 in conscientiousness, though I score very high in openness. Anyways, it seems I've overcome or am overcoming that black hole of inertia finally, and I'm getting the ball rolling a little bit. There's a long way to go, but the key to getting out of the no zone seems to be internalizing the understanding that it gets easier the more you do it. That's what the dopamine system is for. So you take that first awful step, and then the second one, and then the third, and again, and before long you're feeling good about winning instead of feeling bad about losing. This is totally transformational. The cause is the cure, as it turns out. Just, understand that it's like, okay, well, it's you don't have to get it perfect right away. And you don't have to beat yourself up for making mistakes. Okay, number 6. Love and fear. Now, this one's really, the big one for me. And I'm just scratching the surface of this. But in a nutshell, I've had some struggles in my life stemming from a tendency towards narcissism and self-absorption, to put it mildly. Now, that's a whole can of worms to discuss, but boiling it down as best I can, I might describe the problem to you by saying that my gun is always pointed inside my own head. So I'm never really picking up on what other people are feeling or thinking. I struggle with misanthropy and even solipsism. I have severe social anxiety. There's lots of literature on overcoming anxiety, but I really like the Stoic notion that anxiety is field of vision turned inward, whereas love is field of vision turned outward. Now, sure, there's other emotions. There's a whole spectrum of them. But I think of fear and love as the compass points of that spectrum. So empathy and perspective taking, that's your gun pointed outwards. Focus and attention to detail, that's your gun pointed outwards. Interest in the truth and in natural philosophy, that's the gun pointed outwards. Rumination is the opposite. Anxiety is the opposite. Cognitive dissonance is the opposite. All that stuff, I think, results from us being caught up with our own thoughts, believing things we don't understand very well, being attached to our stories and justifications, Now, I want to emphasize that this isn't a call for some transcendent overnight love-in. I think maybe a modest approach would be to aim for a 50-50 mix. Anxiety can be useful. Sometimes if it's behind us, driving us towards our goals instead of in front of us, obstructing our realization of those goals. So it's entirely possible to have a healthy ego and maybe ideally to gradually shed it as your soul matures in your later years. But, if you watch the dog shit corporate news for more than a few minutes, you'll notice that it's mostly, if not entirely, fear porn. It really doesn't inform. It just licks the nuts of your amygdala to milk it for clicks and advertising revenue. That's pretty much literally all it does. Alex Jones's counterculture conspiracy mongering hits the same notes, which is, I think, why he didn't have a heart attack 20 years ago. But there's something very sour with our cultural signaling systems. And I should emphasize that the fear porn and propaganda is not, I don't think it's a cause of our current predicament, even though it's not helping. Rather, I'd say it's barometric. It's telling us about ourselves, our shadows taller than our souls. It's a sign of where we are now and why we are here. Too much fear, not enough love. So we can, I think, choose to love more, fear less, and bring ourselves into equilibrium. There's lots of decent research on the benefits of unconditional positive regard and so forth. I mean, if we overdo it, that's called spiritual bypassing, I think. So we need to stay grounded and realistic if we can. But yeah, more positive psychology and less negative psychology seems like it might fix the infrastructure of our societies at a grassroots level, or help lay the foundation for whatever will come along to replace what we have now. So, all right. Well, I'll be testing that theory out by applying it in my own life. I'll try some of this stuff out. I'll get back to you about the results. That's going to be it for me today. I am going to try to do one of these videos every week. I quit smoking a few days ago. I've got a regular schedule developing. My apartment's cleaner. I'm getting more exercise now. Doing Tai Chi in the mornings. We've come a long way in a short period of time, and I am planning to ramp it up over the winter. I have lots of interest in discussing some of this stuff in more detail, and so I'll keep dropping updates on my progress. Anyone following along can offer encouragement, criticism, advice, admonishment, or whatever. I'd like it if anyone out there on a similar path can give me feedback about their journey. Wherever it is that we're all going, we'll only get there together. If there's one thing I'm pretty certain of, it's that we're all here to help each other get through this thing, whatever it is. I humbly hope I can be of help to some of you, and that you can be of help to me as well. And I will be dropping some links in the down there to some articles that I find interesting that have helped me develop some of this material. And so hopefully that's of interest to you, and by all means send along other material that you think I'd enjoy looking at. So, all right, that's it for today. Namaste, be the change. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.